Hey, brothers, you're listening to Home Bar Happy Hour. We're talking about lumber, Beyonce's country album, and the smack to Will Smith's face. Let's roll, America.
Let's roll. All right. That's good. Hey, welcome everybody to the Home Bar Happy Hour. My name's Joe.
And I'm Chef Gus, brothers.
And we're here hanging out. You said, I have to stop, Mike, before we get too far into it, because you said the slap to Will Smith's face. It was actually the slap to Chris Rock's face. Will Smith was the slapper.
That's all I can feel is like that's what he deserves.
Chris Rock was the slappee. You're right. That is all,
Yes, Chris Rock deserved to slap him.
Yeah, and all
we're actually going to get into that the slapping of the face later into the show. So we shouldn't go too far into the slapping of the face. So we'll continue this later.
We're gonna hold off on all the slap talk for just
all the bitch slapping. Yes,
but stay tuned for all of the slaptastic content that's getting ready to come down the pipe.
I mean, it's what a good start to the show is all about bitch slapping right after a nice wholesome weekend. You know, everybody respecting each other's religious values and their beliefs, and however they want to celebrate this festive holiday this past weekend. Even if it was just going to the Phillies game with family and coming back for a nice sit down home meal. But I think that's what you did, Joe. You went to the Phillies game with your father?
Yeah, man. It was me and my dad and then two of my nephews. We all went to the Phillies game. We had a good time. We went on Saturday, so it was a terrible game. It was raining. The Phillies just got absolutely blown out. We got destroyed by the Braves Friday and Saturday, really. But Saturday, it was just couldn't get it going. Nola, man, was not pitching a good game. He was having a rough go of things. And the Braves were just on, like they were just hitting. Their bats were hot, and that stuff happens. But it was still a good time. A bad day at a ballpark's better than a good day at work. So we hung out, had a good time, fought off the rain. What about you, Mike? How was your Easter weekend?
Well, like you, Joe, I mean, like I didn't go to the games. I mean, I sat here and watched them in misery. I mean, Friday started off really well, but then it just went downhill really quick. Our bullpen, I don't know who decided that our bullpen was predicted to be the best of baseball. I mean, on paper, probably. I don't know. I mean, I'm not an analytics guy. I know nothing about that. So, but somebody up there knows, and they were trying to push it big time because that's what was sold. And I was like, all right, well, I'll see it to believe it. But at the end of the day, it's 162 games.
Right.
And we got all summer, man. I'm not shaken by the first two games. I mean, because we won yesterday.
Yeah, well, we won yesterday.
So we won this past Sunday. So by the time our audience is watching this this past Sunday, and today we have the Cincinnati Reds, and by Thursday at 4:30, we'll be on to. I have to look at the calendar. I'm not too far into it, but we'll be on to that game by the time you're watching this or whatever. So, but yeah, it was overall a good Easter. I got to spend time with my nephews, which was always a blast. It's a fist fight to get to either one of them or any of the three. One wants to stay with mom. The other one wants to continue playing with toys, and then it's always like a trade-off. So, but it's on to the next weekend, brother. It's on to the next weekend. This weekend we got WrestleMania, man. Got some people coming over here to the Gulag. A lot of Army buddies coming over. Just a couple dudes sitting around eating meat, drinking beer. In my case, vodka. Watching WrestleMania. The Rock's back. But
Rock is back, baby. Can you smell?
Yeah.
What he's cooking.
I can tell you what you're going to be able to smell what I'm cooking. I'm doing some I'm going to be doing some beef ribs. I'm going to be doing some jalapeno poppers. I'm going to be doing bacon wrap jalapeno poppers, pulled pork, pork belly burnt ends. Might do some chicken. Definitely some sausage. I'll be doing smoked sausage, but all that in the smoker. It's gonna be a great time. A lot of meat. Might throw some vegetables in there. Might do a veggie tray. I'm notorious for that.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're like a.
What's your veggies? What kind of veggies are you gonna throw on that tray?
Just your typical. I do like some celery, some carrots, some broccoli, cauliflower, some sliced up peppers. Nobody really goes for the string beans or the what's that? The anime. Nobody really goes for those. Edamame. I'm trying to think what else. What else I would put in there? Definitely some. I always do. Everybody just goes crazy, dude. The ranch dry seasoning mixed with sour cream is awesome, especially if you're on the keto diet. So I mean, like just hitting up some broccoli and stuff like that. It's always pretty good. But I'm into the veggie trays right now so that it kind of counteracts the amount of meat that you put in your body.
Sure.
Usually I do like a charcuterie tray. You get some some olives, some grapes, cheeses, different types of meats like supersada and whatnot. But yeah, we're not. That's for the holidays. Here, we're trying to we're leaving the cold back there, and we're opening up the summer. So, but
I wish
but yeah, it's gonna be a good time.
I wish that's how it worked when you're talking about the vegetables counteracting whatever. It never. I wish because I'll have like a small salad and then eat like 5 slices of pizza like a madman because I love pizza. Pizza's like my go-to, especially like a good, like local joint that's pepperoni and black olive. That's like my go-to, and I can just pound it. And I wish like down in my stomach, all the pizzas coming down there, and they were like, "Oh no, if Alan's with me, we're good." But it just, I wake up at 3 a.m. with the heartburn of a 20-year-old cold case detective, just like dying because I ate all these pizza.
Well, I ate too much pizza for the both of us. That's why I need to diet.
Yeah,
probably way too much. Definitely way too much beer.
Yeah.
So,
did you watch any March Madness this weekend? Did you watch any basketball?
No, I didn't. That was my next question for you. Was to ask you. I never really. I mean, I have no problem like going out with people, like friends, to go to the bar and watch like the first round or any round, as long as it doesn't contradict my plans or something like that. But But yeah, go. I mean, go ahead. I'm with the March Madness.
Yeah, I love March Madness. I just love I really like basketball, right? But I'm not huge into the NBA. The NBA hasn't been great. I don't feel since Iverson kind of left, that early 2000s era when it was Kobe and Iverson and all those guys. And before that, that's when it was really good, right? The Michael Jordan era, right? And Sean Kemp and Gary Payton, all these guys, that was like real NBA basketball. Now it's a little too showmanship. There's very little defense being played, but college ball, right? Like college ball is just like real good basketball. And what I love about March Madness is, it's just one game. So it's got that like football mentality, where it's one and done. So if you can be the worst team, that made it, you can be that number 64 seed or whatever that gets in. But if you can just have a better day than that number 20, number, 18 seed or whatever, you can do it out. So I love seeing like a good upset. So last weekend it was James Madison University, JMU against Duke. And man, I was rooting hard for JMU. I'm like, come on. Like,
yeah, I saw Duke lose.
Yeah. Well, Duke lost yesterday, but it was last week was JMU and JMU just got steamrolled, like Duke ran them over. But yesterday was NC State versus Duke, and I think Duke was ranked 4 and NC State was 11. So and Duke was controlling that game the whole time, but second half, NC State pulled it out, came together, and I love seeing that. I love seeing a number 11 seed topple a number 4. They've had a good run. You know, they don't need any more banners on their wall. Give something to NC State. You know, let them throw them a bone. So that was really cool. That was a fun time this weekend watching some basketball.
Did you do anything? Did you go out anywhere? You just hung out the house there just watching it, or did you watch it down in your bar?
I watched it. I watched it down at the bar. So we just kind of hung out at the house went to my folks yesterday for Easter, had some Easter dinner with them, and then came back, and it ended up being like pretty nice out. So grilled some burgers out there, opened up the hot tub.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, watched.
The hot tub.
Hot tub, baby.
Where was my invite at?
You're always welcome in the hot tub, Mike. Come in, do a cannonball. Displace all that water.
I don't know if I do a cannonball, but I give myself a little slip.
A little slip right in there.
Slip. It ain't like my pool, man.
Yeah.
But my pool's not big. It's just not a hot tub for the common audience.
For the Commonwealth out there.
Yes.
The Commonwealth of Pennsylvania's or Massachusetts, or there's a couple more Commonwealths out there.
Yeah,
but I'm stoked for WrestleMania. I'm stoked for The Rock being back. You know, I'm ready for some SmackDowns. What about you, Mike? Are you stoked?
Yeah, I mean, I guess I am. I don't know, man. I just want to be entertained, man. Just make me feel entertained. That's what it is. It's entertainment. And I got some good vibes. I guess it's because we watched the best days of football and like sports and wrestling. That all that is, I feel, kind of behind us because that's what we lived. That's what we lived, and everything now it's different. I'm not saying it's good or bad. It's just different, and I feel like they're starting ever since the changeover to the sell-off of WWE to TKO, which also owns UFC, and The Rock sits on the board of TKO. They have begun bringing some elements of the Attitude Era back to wrestling to get probably fans like us back and more interested. But I haven't been really paying attention. I just know that The Rock is in like a tag team match against 2 other guys with Roman Reigns on Saturday night, and then it's Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes for the championship. Cody Rhodes, son of the late American Dream, Dusty Rhodes.
Yeah.
Yes. And brother to Goldust. And but yeah, so I mean, I like that Dusty Rhodes, like that. It's all about like their microphone ability, like them talking smack. I don't care what because everybody, I mean, respectively, it's scripted. I don't want to say it's fake. It's scripted, because the athleticism that it takes to do that is tremendous. But just like there's athletic, I mean, Brock Lesnar started off in, he was drafted by the Vikings. Bill Goldberg drafted by he played for the Falcons. I wasn't sure if he drafted by the Falcons, but he played for the Falcons. They didn't last that long, and those dudes are huge. They just didn't have the mental capacity to understand that professional level game, extra. That's just my guess. Being a football guy, that's my guess. It was just about understanding the playbook, being in the right position. Like in the NFL, if you're off by an inch, you're giving up a mile. That's what I'm perceiving. And if you're not understanding the playbook and stuff like that, but when they transition, that's why the WWE always actually goes after. Well, just recently here, it's been UFC with Brock. Brock left, went to the UFC, came back even more of a badass.
Yeah.
Because he was just I just felt like he was just like he was young. He just had that baby face, didn't have any mic. Then when he went to UFC, he came back and it was like, yo, this dude, like, there's no way. I'm like, even still, like, there's no way. If you were to put half these wrestlers into the ring right now, into the octagon with Brock Lesnar, like he'd kill him. Like
Yeah, he'd set him
that's
up.
there's totally, even like Ronda Rousey coming over to WWE. I also, I thought that was awesome, but now
Is she still
going on?
is she still in WWE?
I don't know. She was. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't, like I said,
feel
I
like
followed her.
Yeah, I feel like she kind of fell off, you know. You had like she was such a, I don't know how much like UFC you follow, but for for the longest time, like
Oh, dude, yeah, she was a beast, a machine.
she was, and she was like the only like superstar in female UFC. You know what I mean? Like it was.
Well, I feel like she put like the female side of UFC on the map.
Absolutely 100%, and no one could touch her. Like, and I don't want to take anything away from her athleticism. Like she was an incredible fighter, but if you look at like her record, her first like 5 or 6 fights, the ones that she won, they lasted like 30 seconds because she would just get them in arm bars and get them in chokeholds. And her arm bars were her biggest thing. But I mean, she didn't really have like big long fights because it was just there was no competition. She was just absolutely dominating, and her grappling game was so good, right? Like if UFC is so tough, right? If you're a striker and you come in from the world of kickboxing or something, and then you want to fight in the UFC and you get in with a good grappler, someone that's good at judo or something, like you're going to get tore up, because they're going to get you down and get you into submission. That's what Ronda Rousey did for, the first 2 years of her career. And then when people started figuring it out, she just couldn't combat the way she couldn't combat like all of her dominant performances. She could never like kind of come back from that. It's kind of like,
well, also, I mean, like your time in MMA is only so long. I mean, that's
right.
Like boxing, like speaking of like fight, like boxing, like dude, boxing goes as long as like how many hits to the head you can take.
Yeah, for sure.
Or how fast you can. I mean, I'm not a my one buddy. I'm gonna I always say the first name or the last name, so I'm gonna say his first name. My buddy Chris is very very good. Well, he's a big he's a big boxing fan. He knows how to box. He's a really good guy, dude. He would know a lot more about the boxing. So maybe I could get him on the show when it comes to the Tyson fight coming up here, which I'm actually excited for.
Tyson against Jake Paul.
Yeah, I remember when I was a kid. And I'm all for Tyson, man. I love Tyson, and dude, his even though it was so obnoxious and so obscene and derogatory, his trash talk was, I mean, now that I'm older, and I just laugh. I'm like, some of the stuff that he says that he said back then, which I think had a lot to do with his competitive mindset, with the fact that the blows to the head. Yeah. But and he was a maniac, just like Conor McGregor. They're maniacs,
right?
But that's what they do. They fight. They're fighters. I mean, what do you don't see a polite fighter winning a fight. No, it's the animal. The animal wins the fight. The biggest animal, the biggest beast wins the fight. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that's what we were when we were in Afghanistan, and we won some fights. So it all depends on what it all depends on what your natural trait is, and I feel like that fight. I think Tyson's fight, that Tyson Jake Paul fight, Tyson's going to come out on top. I think it's going to be done in like round 1. I think Tyson's going to come in and just that one hook, brother.
If he gets him right, I mean, Tyson is a very skilled fighter, and he's got a mean punch. So we'll kind of see what happens. But I think, talking about what you were saying about like these fighters being kind of maniacs, if you like the way Mike Tyson came up, even like we were talking about Ronda Rousey and Conor McGregor, like if you watch how these guys came up, like it takes such a different mindset to kind of go through what they do. Like Conor McGregor he had to do this for years before he got a shot in the UFC and before he started building himself up. And you make no money and you're spending like, the best years of your life, right? Your late teens, your early 20s, in a gym every day, getting the crap beat out of you to like finally get your shot. And I mean, if you're someone like, a Conor McGregor that's living from this poor rural town in Ireland, just scrapping every day, fighting and fighting. And like, that's how you make a living, is by punching people in the face, and you're trying to make money that way. And then you hit it, you know what I mean? And then you get it, like that grind. People like see Conor McGregor coming on the scene in the 2010s. He's been fighting for 10 years before that. This dude is like gruff and, hard nosed. Like it's a hard road to get there. That's just a different mentality, right? Like you got to think, when you're 22, I remember, like, you talked a little bit about Afghanistan. I remember, like, we went to Afghanistan. When I came home, I was 22 or 23. I was really young when I went to Afghanistan. So like 22, 23 when I came home. By that time, all my friends had graduated college. They were getting better jobs. They were like doing different things. And that's like what these like fighters have to go through, right? They're watching all their friends that grew up in this be like, man, you know what? This is a lot. Like, I'm broke. I'm living on people's couches. I'm just going to go work construction. I'm just going to go be a waiter. I'm just going to go get a paycheck. But these guys are like, no, I'm going to live in my car and get the crap beat out of me every single day, because 10 years from now, I'm going to be a champion. And, I would say for 90% of them, it doesn't work out. But for that 10%, when it hits, I mean, it really hits,
I'd have just a slight disagree with you there. I mean, the only difference between us and them, and I give all the respect to them. Like, dude, like even when I was at my best in Afghanistan, like, there's no way I was going to get an old fit. I don't do hand-to-hand combat. I use weapons. That's it. I'm not. So that's their skill. Their skill is not like so. But you chose to do that skill, and that's what you chose. We chose to go fight for our country so that they can do that. All of us did. All of us veterans have, and we put ourselves in life and death situations and tested our will and our spirit. And I believe that's like the difference between us and them. But I mean, I can't, like, honestly, like, we can't speak on any, but we're starting to get down a rabbit hole. So, but but I'm just, before we're gonna top this off by saying I just hope that Tyson bites his ear off. That would be the best, because that was the first fight that I ever saw Tyson in, was against Holyfield, and I thought that would be great just to finish it off. But the fights, man, what would be your your most favorite TV show or movie fight scene? What's your favorite one?
So my favorite like fight scene, and if you're talking like action movies, like I love like Heat, like, but that's more like gunplay and stuff when they're
we're talking more like a hand-to-hand combat.
Talking like hand-to-hand, like fighting combat. It's got to be, for me, Kill Bill Volume 1. Do you remember Kill Bill at all, Mike?
Yes, briefly, but yeah, go over with the audience.
Yeah, so in the Quentin Tarantino made these Kill Bill movies. He basically made one big long movie and then cut it up into two, a Volume 1 and a Volume 2. And the end of Volume 1 shows Uma Thurman. Her name is Beatrix Kiddo in the movie. They also just refer to her as the bride. But she is traveling around just like one by one, taking out this group of assassins that screwed her over, put a bullet in her head at her wedding, left her for dead. And then she came back and she gets to Japan. What's really cool about the Kill Bill movies is like each kind of member of the assassin squad is like a different like trope. So there's like the cowboy trope, there's like the sniper trope, and the one she gets to in Japan is like kind of the anime trope. and it's Lucy Liu, and she's got a whole group of fighters around her, and Uma Thurman's got this new sword that she got made in, Japan, and she just tears them apart, just like cuts them limb from limb. And it's like 20-minute, action sequence of her just fighting, wave after wave. It's a video game, it's a video game in movie form, and it's just absolutely sick. I love it. But what about you, Mike? What's your favorite like movie fight scene?
Yeah, I mean, Kill Bill was, it kind of reminded me of like Mortal Kombat, but yeah,
It's a little Mortal Kombat.
I do have to admit, I was on a Steven Seagal movie marathon here recently, and man, some of the fight scenes, dude, I would have to say that it goes back to when we first started the show, the bitch slapping, when he, I'm trying to think the one episode or the one movie where he just smacked the shit out of, I think it was like the Glimmer Man with the one of the Wayans brothers. I think it was Myron. Yeah, I think it was, is it Myron?
Marlon.
I think it was Marlon. Yeah, I think it was Marlon Wayans.
Yeah.
Both like I think it was in Chicago. But yeah, he smacked the shit out of these dudes in the going to see his ex-CIA boss in this restaurant. And that was hilarious. Anytime somebody bitch slaps somebody, a recent movie that just came out, and it ties into what we were talking about UFC, is the new Roadhouse movie. And the new Roadhouse movie on Amazon Prime.
Jake Gyllenhaal,
right? And Conor McGregor. Dude, if you haven't seen the new Roadhouse, you love MMA, you have to watch it. Don't go into it like it's respect to Patrick Swayze and the original Roadhouse with Sam Elliott. This is like a completely different type of Roadhouse. This doesn't take place in the like they're just creating. It's a similar plot line, but it's a totally different script. I thought it was a great movie. It's definitely a guy's movie.
Sure.
It's down in the West, but dude, the first time, so Jake Gyllenhaal is a discontinued MMA fighter because he lost his mind and he killed the guy in the ring. So now he's like just like what you said, like he's just a MMA fighter, just bouncing from place to place, living out of his car, using his reputation to fight in these, for cash and whatever. And somebody, picks him up as a bouncer, and man, he trains he like Patrick Swayze does in the original. He trains other bartenders, just, common stuff to defend themselves and to, get people out of the bar. But man, Conor McGregor comes in and he's this typical Conor McGregor self, but man, that guy is a lunatic. And the camera angles and everything to it are absolutely awesome. It makes it like they have the camera where it's actually, you feel like you're getting the shit kicked out of you by Conor McGregor. Yeah. It's awesome, man. It's pretty good. And it's not just about like, bar fights and stuff like that. It takes like fighting to another level, dude. They're out there like they're out in boats and stuff like that. It's wild. And you know how much I love boats. My boat was actually in the movie. Well, not my specific boat, not the 195, the Yamaha 255, which is like $100,000 boat, was in it. And it got blown up. I was like, But
where can people watch it? Where can I watch it if I want to watch this new release?
It's on Amazon Prime.
It's on Amazon Prime? Okay.
Yep.
All right, cool. I'm into it. Hey, you know what? Since you brought it up, I got a question for you, Mike. I got a film trivia question, if you think you can answer it. What movie starred both Jake Gyllenhaal and Patrick Swayze?
Oof. Dude, that's an old one, man.
Do you have any idea what movie would star both of those people?
Ghost.
It was not Ghost. That was Whoopi Goldberg. You were confused. I get it.
Um,
Whoopi Goldberg, Jake Gyllenhaal. People confuse those two all the time.
I don't know, man. You're gonna have to tell me.
No, it was the flick Donnie Darko. Did you ever see Donnie Darko?
No, that's probably why, dude.
Man,
Because that
it was a small indie flick. It was one of like Jake Gyllenhaal's very first movies he ever did. But it's a good movie, and Patrick Swayze plays like a teacher at a school. Jake Gyllenhaal plays Donnie Darko, this like kind of weird kid that starts having visions about the future, and there's a whole time loop thing. It's a decent movie. It's up there for one of I'd say in my top 20 movies, but
yeah.
it's good. Swayze's great. Swayze's great in everything though, and Gyllenhaal's good too. His sister Maggie's in it as well, from Dark Knight fame.
Speaking of I just want to touch back on the bitch slapping and the movies.
Sure.
The bitch slapping, Anaconda, which you were right. The anaconda is the largest reptile or the largest snake in the world.
Yeah, they're big snakes.
Only because they weigh heavier. They only weigh a little bit heavier than the Burmese python.
Okay.
But the Burmese python, that specific breed, can almost get to the same size.
Okay.
So they're both like recorded like almost like 19, 20 feet. But the anaconda weighs a little bit more, so that makes it the larger snake. But and it just brings it back to like Anaconda, the movie that we were talking about, and when John Voight smacked the shit out of the narrator of the movie. He plays in like a bunch of movies, and he's just like, "You like that person?" He just starts smacking the shit out of him. Oh, that was good. I always like that. That was up next to his wink at the end when he got regurgitated by the snake, and he winked at J Lo.
Oh man, yeah, you're naming like plot beats of this movie that I have not seen in years. I
remember going to see this movie with my dad. It was me and my brother. My dad took my dad always. That was like one thing that my dad always liked doing was take the movies in the 90s. Like we went to see Anaconda, The Mummy.
The Mummies. Those
Independence Day, Air Force One.
Yeah,
I those are like definitely like the top 4 that I saw in the movie theaters, and but that was always good, and it was always like my mom taking us to the drive-in. Like, drive-ins were always the best in the summertime, man.
Yeah,
I remember my mom smuggling. Well, she never smuggled me because I was a big boy, and and she would never smuggle my sister because my sister, she's it's a little girl. She's
Yeah.
So it was always my brother because he was always the skinny one. So we would like throw him back into the station wagon and cover him with blankets and chairs, and so we would have to, we would have to pay like the $5-6 to get in.
Yeah.
And it was always cool. And then we go in there and get some popcorn, come out, like throw out the blankets and everything, and like everybody's out just watching a movie. And I remember watching Armageddon, Twister, Eraser, The Rock, not Dwayne Johnson. I'm talking about
Nicolas Cage and Sean Connery. They gotta get off this rock. I love that movie. It's a great film.
I think there was maybe a Disney movie I think I saw on there. It was a good. There are. You're gonna ask like, are there any drive-ins around me?
Yeah, is there a drive-in like still up around?
Yeah, there's two drive-ins. The drive-in that I was going to, that was the one that was up in our audience is up in Gratz, PA. That's in to the world. That's backwoods, man.
Sounds like it's out in the sticks.
That is backwoods.
Gratzwood. I've lived in Pennsylvania.
Well, it's rural America, man. It's it's all, everything's outdoors. If you still go up there, if you go up there right now, it's almost 90s. You can still live your life in the 90s. Yeah, it's small town USA. But the other one is down here in down by Mechanicsburg. It's right off of 1115. But I've only been there once, and that was for a uh Garth Brooks digital
Oh,
concert.
I bet that was
Don't
blast.
ask me, don't ask me how it was because I was trashed in the beginning of it. I
I'm
don't even
sure.
know how it was. We all met up. I wasn't driving.
Yeah.
I was like, we started playing Uno and
Nice.
tailgating, waiting for it. Man, I was ripped, and I was like, I just threw my, and then it's like it was kind of like the spirit was up, and then when darkness fell, yeah, darkness came upon him. When darkness came upon me, and everybody was just like sitting in, like tailgating, relaxing and stuff like that. That's when I was passing out because the energy wasn't there. So it's like,
Yeah.
but
You know, I think we should hit up a drive-in this summer, Mike. And what I think we should do, this is my pitch to you. I think we should go in your truck, but you should be trailer in the boat, and we should just sit in the back of the boat and watch a movie, just chilling in your boat, just land cruising. That's what I'm gonna call it. Land cruising,
yeah,
drinking some beers, watching a flick.
unless that boat's going into water, that's not. I mean, I had no problem. I'll just throw a mattress in the back of my truck, and we could just go there and we could go down to the one down here. What is that? It's gonna bug me now because I can't. I don't have the. Every time I can't figure something out, I always look it up on my phone. Now it's gonna bug me.
You got a computer right by you too. Just look it up.
Yeah, but it's not on. It takes too much. Actually, I turned that one off. But yeah, we're crunching for time here, so that's why I don't want to get down a rabbit hole and like create some beer talk. But all right, so speaking of like it's getting warmer out and stuff like that. We're speaking of summer. What are some summer drinks that some spring drinks maybe to get people elevated into it? You know what I mean?
So, I mean, my go-to summer beer is always the Miller High Life, the champagne of beers. I love that. What I did find when I had a bigger house and I used to like have to mow my grass on a riding mower. I still mow my grass, but it's not big enough for a riding mower. But when I did that, sometimes the High Life would get a little too shaky, and get too much of a head on it and start coming out. So the best drink I had over the summer, mowing my grass, was I would do a margarita up in a, protein shaker bottle. And then you just pop that bad boy in there and then you just keep shaking it up. It don't matter, you just do a little tequila. What I would usually get is they have like pre-mixed margarita mix. It's like Jose Cuervo. And you pour some of that in there. And then you need to pour a little bit more tequila in there because they're pretty light on the tequila in the pre-mixed guys. So just do another shot or two, in your shaker bottle. Put that right next to you, and you got a good time going. What about you, Mike? What's your go-to summer beer or summer drink rather?
Well, it's going to have to be a change up this year because I'm trying to. I mean, my goal, it's about dieting. So even though my typically my go-to is ice cold, like I'm talking like ice cold. Like when you stick your hands down in that cooler, it feels like you're touching Antarctica. Like your hands have frostbite, even though it's like 98 degrees and humid, and you're just like grabbing your fingers trying to get blood back into it. That's the cold that I'm talking about. You reach your hand down in there to grab a Miller Lite. That's my summer drink. But this year has to be a little bit different, where I'm gonna have to drink in like moderation because just to treat myself. Because I am trying to drop more weight. And I dropped a lot of weight so far. I'm wearing jeans here that I haven't worn in like 2 years. So that's good. But I'm not going to stop until I get even further down. So unfortunately, summer has to do with it. But I'm not going to take away the pleasures of summer that I love. I just have to be a little bit more moderate about it.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll have to start coming up with some, keto-friendly vodka drinks. And one of my favorite ones, that means I have to sip. You know me, Joe. I hate sipping.
Yeah, you're a chugger.
I'm a chugger, man. I just like, hey, man, let's get ripped, bro. Let's get a good, like, we're here to have a good time. I'm not here to,
ripping and tearing.
Like, oh, you know what I mean? Like, let's talk about the mints. Like, some ritzy, high some, the finer things in life type of thing.
Sure.
Like, no, man, I ain't here to talk about the finer things in life. I'm here to have a good time. I'm here to
Yeah.
be the entertainment. When I was in college,
I
back when I
believe
was in 20,
believe it was
when I
Pitbull. He
was,
said it. I'm here for a good time, not a long time.
that was George Strait.
No, I think it was Pitbull, Mike.
Pretty sure it was George Strait.
Agree to disagree,
Agree to disagree. Maybe I got beef with you.
Mr. 305,
Yeah, well, I guess I could put you on my beef list.
Yeah, put me on the beef list.
I will
I'm into
put
it.
you on the beef list. But yeah, man. So yeah, dude. Now you got me losing my train of thought.
I know. I totally. Well, we were talking about being here for a good time, not a long time. The clear Pitbull reference.
I mean, I'm saying it's clearly George Strait.
Well, again,
The Legend of George Strait is clearly better than Pitbull.
I know George Strait, and I don't know George Strait saying this. When did he say this?
I know he says it.
You just know? I need a song.
I know he does.
What's
and I
the
know
song?
I'm right. Because I base my life off of that.
You base your life off of George Strait?
Off of what he said.
Okay.
I'm not here for a long time. I'm just here for a good time.
Okay.
Hold on a minute. Hold on. Keep them. There we go. Come to daddy. I hate when when you're looking for something on. There we go. All right, George Strait, here for a good time.
Yeah, there.
I just had to look it up real quick just to make sure I got the right song.
Okay, yeah.
But yeah, George. Yeah, George. Yeah, Joe. Give it a good listen.
Yeah.
You listen to George Strait?
I've heard my mother.
You've heard of George Strait? You haven't listened to him?
No, I've listened to George Strait. My mother grew up in East Texas. She is like the biggest George Strait fan.
I just wonder why, because you were always like sending me Snapchats of like being at the Garth Brooks concert.
I went to one Garth Brooks concert. It was one of the best nights of my life. I love Garth Brooks. He's about the only like country guy that I really like, and I absolutely, dude, Baton Rouge, that song is killer, bro.
Dude, you're telling me
there's no better song than Calling Baton Rouge.
Yeah, dude. Speaking of which, it's just a shame because like I don't know what the copyright laws that guy runs, because there's not too many. I mean, well, you can't find it unless you're on Amazon Music. So that's the only way you can listen to Garth Brooks. All of his music is on Amazon Music, and on top of it, not a lot of karaoke DJs or like iTunes, like the music boxes, the music box that whatever you pay at the bar. Not a lot of them have so his copyrights are really strict.
So Garth is many things, and one of them is a smart businessman. So back in the day when it was all CDs, he signed an exclusive deal with Walmart. So only Walmart had Garth Brooks CDs. And this was like back in the day when it was just Walmart. And then when all the streaming services started coming out, he signed an exclusive deal with Amazon. So Amazon's the only one that has Garth Brooks. No, Apple Music, no Spotify, no one else but Amazon has Garth Brooks. And I'm going to tell you, people went to Walmart just to buy Garth Brooks CDs. I bet people go to Amazon Music just to listen to Garth Brooks music. I mean, it's Garth Brooks. What are you going to do?
Well, I'll tell you right now, I'm not buying any physical media, whether it be movies or music. And I would think music would probably be the only one where I would want to buy vinyls. Vinyls is where it's at.
I have a good collection of vinyls. I've been getting back into buying movies because
who has a good collection? A solid collection of vinyls.
Yeah, who's that? Matt Bell.
No. Well, we can't say the names. We can only say the first or last name. No, it is not Matt. It is not Bell. You already said his name, so it doesn't really matter. The one we call Nick.
I know like 300 Nicks.
Well, the one Nick, the mechanic.
The one Nick. Okay. Oh,
Mechanic
okay.
Roadhouse.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's got a good
Nick,
collection.
dude. His bar, dude. That's what we should do. We should do a joint show from Nick's bar. Nick
Let's
calls
three-way him in.
his home bar is called the Barrel.
The Barrel. I like that.
Yeah. But speaking of like people and all this, and like we were talking about other celebrities and like how the beef mode.
Sure.
Dude, you want to know my beef?
Yeah, I want to know your beef.
Lizzo.
Yeah.
See ya. She quit. Adios. Nobody's rolling out the carpet for you. They should roll out. I should just get a hold of her to tell her to get on one of my diets.
Yeah.
Dude, she's just an awful person, man. Dude, I don't know, Joe. You told me before we started the show that you had beef with her, so we're going to continue that. Can you support me? I don't know.
I support you for sure. So I'll say this about Lizzo. You know, I don't know much about the woman. I know she got famous. She's a little larger, and she had some good songs. There was a song about the juice that was fine. But apparently she quit music, Mike, and she announced it on Instagram. That's, you know, how
I think she's going to move too.
She probably will move. She's made her money.
Dude.
Yeah. So I'll say this. My opinion hasn't changed. I'm not a big fan of Lizzo. Never have been. I'm not for, this is what I'll say. I'm not for bullying of anyone. So I don't want to come out here and I get it, like having beef with Lizzo. I have beef with Lizzo too. Like it is what it is. But I'm not for bullying of anyone. Her coming out and like saying everyone's bullying her and talking bad about her and making her quit music, all of the allegations that are, and again, they're just allegations. Nothing has been, you know, concrete, but the allegations that have come out against her is that she was making such a toxic work environment, bullying all of the people around her. Like,
and,
you know,
I believe there was a few sexual assault references, allegations that were put in there too.
There was some pretty heinous stuff that you would never expect when you're, you know, meant to be a dancer, right? So I am so 100% against bullying, but this is maybe a little caveat. Me and you, I think it's pretty hard to like bully me and you. Like you can make fun of me, you can call me a nerd, whatever, you know, you can make fun of you, you know, call you an American, you know, redneck or whatever. Like we're going to take it. We're fine. But if you're Lizzo and you're here and you've done all this stuff and then you want to come out and say like, oh, we bullied you out of the industry. Like, come on, bro. Like you were
shit up just to get out of the pinch that you're in. Whatever happened to just be an adult. Be an adult. You fucked up. Fucked up. And just be an adult. And you know what? She was bad. She was bad from the beginning, man. It was just she had a one-hit wonder, just a one-hit wonder, and
she had a couple. She had more than one hit, but
hit wonder. She's nothing like a true artist,
right?
Who makes she made like one or like, you know, a couple songs. Whoop-dee-doo.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm all about like providing grace to those that deserve it. I'm not 100% sure Lizzo deserves it. I don't want to get like super into it because we don't know the whole story, but like don't play the
yep. What Joe said, we don't know the facts and everything, and we don't want to go about hearsay, so we just let the facts play it out. But I'll tell you right now, I didn't really care for it from the beginning, and
I wasn't.
Some people. I'm just gonna leave it at that. Maybe we'll bring that person on a guest. I have a lot of guests. I have a lot of guests that want to come on to this show, man. But they got to take their time. They have to, you know, they have to invest into this show. And before we leave you guys off, I just want to put out there again, as a veteran show, we just want to make sure that everybody is staying healthy out there. maintain a mental acuity, and if you need to, reach out to your nearest veteran friend, family member, or if you don't have anybody, I'm also on social media, TikTok, Instagram. I'm on X, Facebook. Like, reach out to us. That's pretty much why we're doing this show. We're doing this show to reach out and to branch the social aspect between the veteran community and the just the average citizen, because that's what we're trying to do. We're one people. We're all Americans. Joe and I didn't fight for ourselves. We fought for this land, this freedom that we all have. So that's all I gotta say.
Yeah, you can find us all on Home Bar Happy Hour just about everywhere. You can email us at homebarhappyhour@gmail.com if you want any even if you have a question that you want put on the show, we'd love to do that. You can find Mike exclusively on OnlyFans at Buttslut69.
I'll tell you right now, if you find me on OnlyFans, you're not going to find anything of that type of it. You're just going to find me chugging beer. That's all you're going to do.
Yeah, but where is he chugging it? That's the question,
In my pool. My shorts on.
Oh man. Oh, this my shorts. It was great hanging out with you, Mike. It was great hanging out with all of you. Can't wait to see you guys next Thursday. Let's peace out.
One love, brother.